This conference will now be recorded.
So you have any queries in yesterday's session, Mike?
I think it's okay. It's okay.
No.
Yeah.
So, I told you we will be starting collections today, right?
Yes.
We have sections and we'll be starting collections. So before going to collection, I think you know what is an array, right? So array is the way you will be storing a group of similar data types, right? And but the disadvantage with an array is arrays are fixed in size. So for example, once I declared an array of 100, so what I should do, I need to give only that 100 size. Or for example, you assume that there are employees or students that you assume that you are given an array of 100, right? And what you do, you will be giving the values up to 100, right? But assume that there are one more student came, right? Or one more employee came, like more than 100, right? So then what you need to do, you cannot use that array. Again, you need to use a different array, right? So it means the arrays are not growable in nature; they are fixed in size. So if you give the size of 100, you can add only 100 elements, right? So in better choice, you can take something like 500 or some more size you can take. But what will happen? For example, you have taken a size of 500 or 200, but there is only 100 100 was registered for you, right? So whenever you do an application in real time, you don't know what is the number of people that are going to come to an array, come to join, right? So you in this, as of now, we are just declaring it. When we do the real-time application, we will not declare it, right? At runtime, when you do an application, the automatically the array gets increased, right?
Yeah.
So the elements gets added. So it will happen dynamically at runtime, and you don't know the size of an array. So that's a disadvantage in an array, right? So that is nothing but your arrays are not global in nature. And what is the one more disadvantage is nothing but arrays are homogeneous. What is the meaning of homogeneous? Is, for example, when I declare an int array, for that int array, can I add a string? No. Can I add a double? No. So float, you cannot add. So you should be adding only the type specific. Their arrays are your type specific, right? So if I declare a string array, I should be adding only the string. So that is also one of the things that was present in array. And your arrays will not have. You want to ask something, Mike?
No, sorry. Can you give me 3 minutes?
Oh, yes. Take your time. Take your
Yeah.
time.
I will come back. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, no issues.
Hello?
Yes, Mike.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah.
So we are discussing that arrays, right? So these are the disadvantages. And what one more thing, your arrays will not have predefined methods or functions. So for example, when you add some elements to an array and you want that elements to be come in ascending order, you want that objects to be in descending order, then manually you need to write a logic. So you don't have any predefined methods to do that. So these are the few disadvantages with an array. So these things will be overcome in your collection. So you can just go through the slide once.
Yes.
Any issues? So you can see whatever I discussed will be there for you. Arrays are fixed in size, your collections are global in nature, and you have arrays can have primitive only, but here you can have primitive as well as here also. Here in collections, you will not have any primitive types. In collection, you will always store objects. For example, when you store, I think you have an idea what is primitive type and what is secondary type. Uh, Mike. So if I am storing, so int and this integer, int, float, these are nothing but the primitive data types. So the object level string or something, I'll call that as secondary data types, right? Objects, I'll call it as secondary data types.
Mm.
So we have seen it, right? So this int, float, and everything comes as a primitive data type. So int or float or double. So all this comes as a, so these all are nothing but your primitive data, right? Uh, your object comes under secondary data type. Objects like, so it may be user defined or it may be predefined object. So for example, string is a predefined class, right? So all this comes under string. Example is a string. So string or something like string buffer. So these are nothing but your predefined things. So these are a predefined objects. So this is nothing but your secondary type. So in case of arrays, you can store primitive as well as secondary.
Secondary data type, you
Second,
mean?
yeah, yes, secondary data type, or I can same them as object level.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, they are not object.
What?
They are not primitive.
Why it's a secondary? Like, 加音
Ah, there's a classification like if, for example, if you have int and everything, they call it as primitive data types, right? And there is a classification like they call it as secondary data types. If it is an object level, so objects they call it as secondary data types, like that.
or it's like defined by the Java people.
Yes, just
Oh,
exactly like.
can I see your note again? I just yeah, can
Ah,
to take a look to yeah.
so for example, you have
Have
int double.
double. Okay, yeah. You have double float int
These are a
primitive.
primitive
Okay,
data,
yeah,
and
and the string.
objects string objects types are string or string buffer. Or if I create an object like class A, class B, I'll be as we are creating an objects, right? So all this comes under secondary data type. So collection can hold only the objects but not primitive. Here they have given objects. So don't confuse with, if you have confused with secondary, don't think that your collection will hold only the objects. Your collection will not hold primitive, right? And in performance point of view, arrays are a little bit faster. I'll be telling you the reason why the arrays are a little bit faster compared to your collection.
What
And
is a string buffer?
string is the one that we have discussed it, right? So we have taken a class called string, right? So
Yeah,
whatever
but
that we have a predefined class that is string, and I'll be discussing what is a string buffer and string builder also. There is a difference between your string and string buffer and string builder. I'll be telling you.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, these three are nothing but a predefined classes. String buffer, string builder, everything are predefined classes. So once I complete this, I'll be telling you what is a string and what are the functions that you have. So string is a predefined class. So whenever you want to store in some name, what you are doing, you are storing it in a string, right? For Java, we have seen in examples with the string also. So string is a predefined class in Java, right?
Yes,
And
that I know. Like a string or float, it's a predefined class, predefined what's that? Where predefined variable data type. Data type. Yes.
yes, float is a variable, string is an object. Okay.
String is object level, right? And
Yeah.
the float int is in a higher level, right?
No, they are a primitive data types here. Float, int are primitive data types.
Yes, but the string is, I mean, the level string is on the object level. That's what
Yes.
you said, right?
Yes, exactly.
So then int is like int float is in which level? They are in like primitive level.
Yes, primitive data types. You call that as primitive.
So they are different, right? In different levels. String is in object level, and int float they are in a primitive level, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Sure. Yeah, I just want to be clear with that. Yeah.
Yes. So you call string as an object, and these are nothing but your primitives, right? As I told you, it will store. You can see this points. It will store only the homogeneous. It will store both homogeneous as well as heterogeneous. So memory point of view, arrays are not recommended, and your collections are recommended. We'll see why it is not recommended at all. So underlying data structure is not available. For this, you have a standard data structure. So collection will have a data structure.
Sorry. I don't. What is the homogeneous and it's? I don't remember exactly what's that elements.
Yes. So, I'll tell you. I don't know. So for example, I'll be declaring an array. What is this an array? You know what is an array, right?
Yes. That I know.
So what is the elements that you are going to store here? What type of elements that you are going to store here? Int.
Integer. Yes.
Integer. So
Yes.
in an array, can I store something like this? I have declared an array of int. So can I store a string here? Can I do like this?
No, you cannot. It's wrong.
Because you declared a type of int, right?
Yeah, it should be in. Yes.
Yes,
I agree.
for example, when you want to declare a string, you need to declare a string array. So whenever you want to add string elements, you need to declare an array of string, so which will store only string objects.
Correct.
Right? So this is what homogeneous. Homogeneous something is nothing but unique elements. I cannot store something different data types. So that is nothing but your
Homogeneous.
Right? But in case of collections, I can store string, I can store int, I can store double float, everything I can store. There is no restriction in homogeneous. Here in arrays, there is a restriction. You cannot store heterogeneous.
Oh, I see. I think I got the point. The array it must be the same type you declared, but in collection you can store different. Even there are different types, you can still store, right?
Yes, exactly. So you can declare.
Basically, array and the collection are similar, right? They are similar things.
No. Actually, you have a concept of arrays. So in C you have in C itself you have a concept of an array. So, but there are some disadvantage with an array. So that's the reason they come up with a concept called collection, right? So this collection will overcome the disadvantages that are available in your array. Not same that so same in the sense you the same like what is the purpose of collection to store some data, right? So your collection also is stored is used to store some data, but there are some differentiations happen.
I got your point. Yes,
Yes.
I know. Yes, yes, I know. It's like there are some data points for array, and but collection is kind of make up, right?
Yes, yes. So what are the disadvantage which are present in array will be overcome, there are
Mm.
so it has overcame in collections.
Yes, yes. Now I got the like, yeah. It's like in a like a high level, in a concept level, is something like that. Yeah.
Yes, yes, exactly, Mike. Yes. So I think you know what is a data structure, right? A little thing, data structure is something where, for example, when you have a bulky of data, so where you have to store it, right? You need to store how you need to store that data. So that is what your data structure will tell. So the data structure is a very huge concept. You can just go and see what is a data structure and how. So
Yeah,
basic.
so I had a class like a long time ago for when was like in school. Yeah, so but just some basics about the data structure. It was very complicated
Yes, yes,
when
it
the
was very
class.
vast.
I still remember when it goes to the like go deep. Yeah, I almost forgot everything.
Yes. So your collection we will all have a data structure. Actually, you will
Mm,
what
mm.
we learn in a collection is nothing but we are going to learn a different classes, and different classes internally will have a different data structure.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
the main purpose of a data structure, simple words, is nothing but when you have a bulky of data, how you would store it, and
Yeah,
what
yeah,
is
yeah.
your requirement, how to get that, how to update a data. So, for example, when you do any application, the application will have a CURD operation that is very important, right? You will be creating something, you will be getting something, you will be updating something, you will be deleting something. So this is the CURD operation that you follow for every application, right? So when you have a bulky of data, how you create it, how you store that, how you retrieve it, how you update it, how you delete it, so where you want to place it, so what is the requirement, so that will be learned in a data structure. So right, so is name is indicating, right? So you have a data, how we are going to structure it, so which makes easy for you to do these operations, CURD operations. So what is the data structure suits for what? You got my point, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember some like fundamentals like stuff, but not the detail. It's very long ago. I don't remember. Yeah, me.
Okay, it's not required. It's not required us to go deeper into data structure, but
Mm.
you just understand what is a
Yeah,
basic.
exactly, exactly. Yeah, but during the class, it was going very deep.
Okay, okay. As of now, it's not required. You
Mm.
just go. It's not required for us to go into the deep that. So having that minimum knowledge is fine. So here uh, you have a collection interface getting opened. So here you will have a
This is the data structure about the collection. I mean, this hierarchy graph.
hierarchy of the collections. So we have not went for data structures. So every collection class will have a data structure, right?
Mm.
So we'll have a collection. So you understood what is the advantages of collections over your arrays, right? You got that
Yes,
point,
yes, 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 yes. I
right?
got the point. Yeah, yeah.
Here your collection will have a lot of classes, right? So what we'll be learning in this, what is the purpose of collection is nothing but uh, what class I need to use to store the data. For example, I have a data, right? So for my data, my requirement is nothing but I want the retrieval to be faster. For my data, I want updation to be faster. I for my data, whenever I delete that, that the deletion should be faster. I have a data, when I retrieve, I want the data to come in ascending order. So when you have a data, you will have a lot of requirements, right? So how you want to store your data, so based on your requirement, in which class you will be storing your data, that's what we'll learn in the collections. You will have a lot of classes in it, and what is your requirement, and every class will have a unique thing. So what is the purpose, you will go for that class, and when you go for that, what is best in that. So when you store a data in one of the class, array list or linked list, so what it is suits for. When you store a data in vector, what is it suits for, right? So what is the advantage your vector use, what is the advantage your array list use, this is what we learn in a data in collections. Is I'm clear, right? So
Yeah,
here
yes. What
here
is
we have,
Victor?
Uh, don't worry. We have not
In
started.
the future. Okay.
So we'll go. I'm just telling an example that what all are nothing but your classes. Array list, vector, all are nothing but the classes. You are seeing here it right. So when I use this, to what is the requirement will make me to choose this. That's what we'll learn. So we'll see what is array list vector. We'll see one by one, but as we'll go on that, right? So first of all, you will have a collection interface. So that interface will be extended by three things. So later point of time we'll see for Q. As of now, we'll stick with the list and set, which is important for your application level. So this collection has been extended by, so an interface can extend another interface, right? So collection is an interface. This interface is extended by set. This interface is extended by list, as well as this interface is extended by your queue, right? So whatever the abstract methods present in your collection will be always present in set, will also present in list, will also present in queue, right? Now this list is an interface which contains the abstract methods of the list as well as the abstract methods of the collection. So the class which implements your list has to override all the abstract methods present in the list as well as, sorry, in the collection as well as list, right? Because this list is a child of your collection now, right? A class can extend a class. Similarly, an interface can extend an interface. So now you see this list got extended by your, so this list is an interface. This extended by your array list, vector, and linked list. You have a stack also. They have not yet, but you can see this list interface was extended by array list. So it means whatever the abstract methods present in the list will be overridden in the array list. Whatever the abstract methods present in the list will be overridden by vector, will be overridden by linked list, because this got implemented by three classes that we learned. What is an extends, implements, what the class should do when you implements. You know all the concepts. So the same point over here, right? So similarly, you have a set interface. For that set interface, there are some other classes which will be extending your set, implementing your set interface. So what are the classes which implements your interface? So the classes are nothing but your hash set implements your interface, linked hash set implements your interface. We'll see all that. And your sorted set, which extends this, and a navigable set. Interface can extend interface. Interface will never implement interface, because interface is something where you don't have an abstract method. So it cannot provide the abstract methods of that, right? And you have a tree set which implements your navigable set. It means it will override all the methods present in the, so your tree set should override all the methods present in the collection set, sorted set, navigable set, because it is a subchild of all this. You can see the arrows. Dotted specifies the implements, and dark line specifies the extents. So interface extends and class implements. So we'll see what is the main difference first with the list and set. So when I need to go for list and set, so after going for list and set, so in a list you will have a different classes, right? And in the different classes, when I need to choose what class, that's what we will be learning. So first we'll see what is the main difference between a list as well as set. So you can, this is a slide which makes you, I think, more clarity, but I'm telling you, a list is a one where you will, whenever you want insertion to be preserved. For example, I'm storing some data like employee IDs, or you can say numbers or anything. So when I was storing some data, I want insertion is important. How I store a data, that way only I want that output. So insertion, preserving most of my insertion order is my requirement. Then I can go for list. And when I'm storing my data, I want duplicates to be allowed. So for example, I just want to, I'm adding a names. So obviously names will be duplicated. So I just want duplicates to be allowed, and I want insertion to be preserved. Then I'll go for list, right? And a quite opposite requirement is for set. So where your requirement is not for insertion, so your set will have different insertion order. It will follow insertion order, depends on the classes, right? So set has a different classes. Different classes will have different order of insertion, right? So don't worry about that. But generally, general point of view, a set will not have an insertion. I'm talking about generally about set and list. And your set will not. You want to ask something?
Yeah, yeah. You said what the set cannot have what assertion? Which word? Can you please type it?
It will not preserve insertion. How I am going to insert the data? Insertion and all.
Oh, insertion. Okay, okay. I thought assertion like that's.
No. Insertion. So how your what is the list? List will preserve the insertion. How I want to insert the data, that is how it will come, right? But whenever I my requirement is not bothering about insertion order, so your set will not preserve the insertion order, and your set will not allow the duplicates. For example, if I'm trying to store the same value, it will be overwritten. So your same value, so when I print it, it will not print the same values. So then you go for set. So these are the major difference. So when you don't want insertion to be preserved, and when you don't want duplicates, you go for set. You want insertion to be preserved and you want duplicates to be allowed, you go for list. You can read out all the.
I got the how to say, I got the duplication part. But what do you mean insertion? Insertion
Okay,
is
you
yeah, I
get
don't.
more.
Yeah,
You
what
get,
is insertion?
for
Insertion
example,
or insertion? This word?
yes, insertion, or you get this more. You understood what is duplicate, right? Similarly,
Yes,
insertion is that, for example,
duplicate. I got a point. I got your duplicate. Basically, the list can allow duplication, but the set is restricted for it.
yes. When I tell an example, you may get more clarity on
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
But I'm assume that
But
I'm adding the elements to array list, something list I'm adding,
mm,
right? So when I print this, for example, what are the elements that I'm adding? 2, 6, 1. So how I'm adding? So 2, 6, 1, right? So
mm.
first I'm adding 2, second I'm adding
Sorry,
6.
I got another call. Sorry, I will
Okay.
come back. Yeah.
Yes. Take your time. Take your time.
Hello?
Yes, Mike.
Yeah. Sorry, it's
No.
commercials. Yeah, I don't know why how they get my number. They keep calling like again. Like yeah.
There.
Yeah,
So
especially when I have the class.
from where you got the call?
I don't know. It's like maybe it's the fraud. It's a fraud call, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Credit card, something like that.
Yeah. You got also sometimes.
Yes. Not sometimes, most of the time.
Yeah.
So if you see how you are inserting elements like 261, right?
Mm.
So when I print this output system.out.println, when I print that, I want the output to be like same. I'll get the output similarly like that. So my output will be 261. So how I inserted 261? How my output is 261. So this is why you're preserving an order. For example, when you print, you got an output 612. This is not preserving your order. You got 126. This is in the ascending order, but it is not preserving your insertion. How I inserted, so for example, how
I got I think I understand now. The
yes,
insertion you mean is the exact order you give, right? That's
yes,
order.
exactly order of what I give. That is the order of output. Then that is nothing but preserving your insertion order.
Insertion order. I see. Like mm, how to spell the insertion is exactly that word you typed, or it is can you show me the word again? Insertion you typed.
Okay, you can all.
I just want to make sure it's exact word like insertion, or I mean, do we have a? in between, or it's INSERNTION, or it's intonation?
No, I was with spelling. I think you have this one. So a collection is an interface of that contains methods to perform operation that can insert and delete based on the same index. Stores duplicate, duplicate values.
Yeah, basically, the insertion, it means the order you give.
Yes, this is the one.
I see. And array, in array, you can, so in array, for the insertion, you can, how to say that? You can, so insertion in array, you can keep assertion, right? But in set, in array you can allow the different assertion, but in set it must follow the strict assertion, the order, right?
No, your list will follow insertion.
Oh, list will follow, but set will not follow.
Yes, exactly.
It doesn't care in the set.
Yes.
Okay, I see. Okay. List will follow exactly the order you gave.
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, so many things in Java.
You guys know context
Yeah.
methods. So what we are learning is very basics actually. So
Oh, really? So you okay? So that means you know much more, because when you're using, you have more.
not like much more. So what I feel like, even how experience I have, I will be feeling that there are a lot of things to be learned. So I was giving you the enough knowledge as a developer. I was what are the things that I am facing you. So whenever so for example, I learned Java, right? So but when I was performing, when I was having when I was working, right? So what I learn will be useful at the same time. I learn something which is different, which are deviating, and what I learned will be something different that I understood. So that clarity that I have, right? So I was clubbing all these things and telling you which is required for an application development. So my point of view is like internally you'll have a lot of things, right? So lot means, for example, we have seen about array list, vector, and whatever the classes that we have seen. So internally how they are functioning, we have not seen it, right?
Yeah, it's it's huge stuff. It's a
Ah,
word. Okay. Yeah.
yes. Every subject is a huge stuff. Like it's not only this. When you learn automation, also everything is a huge stuff. How if you go deeper, how it is happening, how internally there are a lot of things. But what is the main thing that we'll have is nothing but as when you what is your requirement when you want to become a developer or when you want to do working. So what are the things that you require? So that stuff we'll be learning. So whenever you want to do some more learning on that, or when you want to become when you want to write some exams, or when you want to deep learning, so when you will be going more deeper in it. So it depends on our requirement, right? How we learn any subject.
Yes.
So it's like what I'm giving you is like good stuff. What I'm giving, I was telling you which will helpful for when you become as a Java developer, right? So I was giving in a perspective that as a Java developer, obviously it will be more helpful when you do it in automation testing, and that I was guarantee that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, we'll continue. So you see, these are the points. What I said, you can see the same points over here. Store duplicate values. It will not store the duplicate values. You have the list will have a different classes. Your array list, linked list are the implementation of this. Your hash set, linked hash set are the implementation of your set. So these are the iterators that you have. Uh, so it is not possible to use list iterator to transfer the items in the set. So you have an iterator and a list iterator. Here, if we see these are nothing but your cursors. We'll see what is this cursors also. And you can have a list can have many null values. Your set can have only one null value because it will consider null as also an element, right? so it cannot duplicate. So in that case, you can consider your set will have only one null value, and you can list will have many null values. We'll see that with examples that you get more clarity. So first we'll see with an array list. So in this, your list is implemented by array list, right? So first we'll see with array list and linked list, and what is a vector, and when I need to use array list, when I need to use linked list, when I need to go for vector. We'll see this. So here array list. So whatever the properties that are present in the set list, that comes to an array list, right? Because your array list is a child of the list. So what are the properties? Insertion order, preserving an insertion order, that is one property, and allowing it duplicates. That property comes to an array list. Apart from that, it has a more properties also. We'll see that. But what are the major properties of a list will automatically come to the child. So in array list, you can allow the duplicates. It will allow duplicates. It will preserve them.
Sorry, one simple question. So here, array list is different from array, right? It's different
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
Array list belongs to a collection, right?
Yes.
I understand.
Yes, exactly. So
it's different from array. Array is a different thing, and array list is a concept in the collection.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, just because here it's easy to be confused.
No, no need of confusion. But
for me, not like
Yes. So initial stages for everyone, like when you are learning, even for me, like right. So, but once you do the practices, when you get learned, it will be very comfortable. So array is a different concept. So your array list is a class, right? You have a class called arrays that is different. Again.
Yeah.
So
it's a class. That's right. That's a class. It's a class.
Arrays. You have an array class. You have an array concept. You have an array list class. Three are different.
Okay. Yeah, because array is a data type we talked.
Yes. Array is a data type.
Array list is a class we talked. Okay.
Yes. So so here your array list is, it will not so it will maintain the insertion order, and it is not synchronized, and array list allows a random access because array works at an index, and your manipulation is very easy. The manipulation is a little bit difficult, and in linked list it is very easy. So I'll explain this last point, why the manipulation is very easy. So how, when you understand how the data gets stored in array list. So if you see, first of all, we'll see that we'll see what are the points that we learned. So
one thing, sorry, from a slide, one thing.
Yes.
So this is the insertion, right? Insertion is this word. That's what you meant, huh?
Yes, that's what I'm.
Okay. Sure, yeah.
No, I have told you even this one, right? So
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
So array list is a predefined class, right? So I'll be creating an object of an array list. So creating an object of an array list. So this is how you create a simple object, right? So after creating an object, I'll add some here dot add. So it is going to take in only the object type. So as I told you, if you store int also in collections, what happens if I'm going to store int also, it will convert into integer. So this integer is a class. So this is nothing but your object. So this is nothing but my primitive data type. Int is a primitive data type. You have an integer class. So if I'm storing int, it will convert to an integer. If I store a float, it will convert into a float. So these are nothing but your wrapper classes. These are the predefined classes your Java is having, right? And in a collection, what I said, a collection will never contain a primitive data types. What collection will have? Collection will have only the objects. So if I'm storing, just a minute. Mike, can you hear me, right?
Yes.
So if I store int also, it will convert to an integer. So if I store 2, it will convert to an integer wrapper class. So this is nothing but a predefined wrapper classes. So this I can call it as auto boxing. Auto boxing. And when you are trying to get the objects, what happens? For example, I have stored elements in the collection, and if I'm trying to get that from that collection, now again your integer will convert to an integer. So this is nothing but your auto unboxing. So this auto boxing and auto unboxing happens by internally by default. So when you are storing an elements, auto boxing happens. When you are getting that elements, auto unboxing happens. It is means converting that object type to a primitive type. That is nothing but auto unboxing. Converting the primitive type to an object type. That is nothing but auto boxing. So here, if I am storing something like 1, so that will convert again. This is one is a primitive data type int, right? So that will be converted into integer. Al dot add, and now I'm adding something 6. One. So you are seeing what I said, it will allow duplicates. So what I'm doing, I'm adding 1 2 times. So now the 2 times 1 should print. And what is said in the concept, it will add, it will allow the heterogeneous. It means I can add a string also. So integer, now I'm adding a string, something like. So there's a string value.
Okay, so now it means you are using collection. Okay.
Yes, yes. This array list is a collection, right? So as I said,
Yeah, it's yes, a collection class. It's just small part of it.
yes, yes. So you can see the type here is nothing but object. Always it will add only the objects. So you can add null, as I told you. You can add n number of nulls. So now if I print this, my output should be same how I inserted. How I inserted 1691 Ravi null null. So if I print, I should get the same order. So it is preserved.
But I remember only one none is allowed, right? We cannot allow two none. No.
In arrays you can allow. In you can see any can have many null values. What is this? Can have only single null value. So what is the property of a list will always comes to an array list, because the array list is a child of that, right? So your array list is a child of list, right? So what are the
yes. Look at the picture. Yes.
Array list. So you can add many null values to an array list, right? For set you cannot. So I'll even share this slide so you can go through and see what are the things. It's just like getting to know in collections you will not have much concept. The collections is what is a class and what is that purpose of class and when you use. That's what you learn in collections center, right?
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Please share me the.
Yes. So here I'll be printing that here. So now it should 1691 Ravi null null. So it has to preserve that insertion and it has to allow the duplicates. It is allowing the null values and it is printing the heterogeneous. I'm adding string as well as integer. So everything will satisfy. If I print, that will be the output. So you can see the same thing 1691 Ravi null. So you see that is preserving everything. So I created, so add element in the array list which is used to add.
one question here. You import all util class, all util classes, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Well,
So
why we need import every because the collection is from the util class, no?
array list is from the util class. Util is a package. Java.util is a package. So you remember the package concept, right?
Yes,
Whenever
I
you
know.
want to use some particular class, what you need to do? You need to import that, right? So here, what star means? It will come all the classes that is present in the util. So why I put a star means I'm taking the same example to explain you all the things. Right?
I got
That's
the
the reason
point.
I've taken.
Yeah,
So
array
if I
list
write
is
an array,
yes, it's a class of Java util. Yes, and the list. What's the relationship of this package and the collection? It's a different thing, huh? This is a package. Collection is a data. How to say that? Collection is a collection is a data, not a data type. How can I say? It's a data structure, right? Of Java. Can I say that?
no, not you cannot even you cannot say not like collection is something. It's a concept. So it's where you
Concept.
have a it's a concept where what you it will be overcome the disadvantage with an array. So where you can able to store the data. So your collection will provide different
It's a
classes.
concept. We can
It's a
only
concept.
say it's a concept basically.
Yes, it's a concept. So where
I got
you will provide a lot of classes. So with that
I
classes, you add an element
I
and do
got the point. I got the point. But here, if we want to use a released class, we must import the Java util because
no,
it's from that package, and this package is a pre-reserved package from it's a predefined package from Java.
yes, exactly, Mike.
I
So,
got it.
so the package concept, the same, your concepts will not change, right? What we learn in a package, you will have well, whatever the classes that you have, when you want to use it in your particular class, what you need to do, you need to import. The same thing I'm doing here.
Yes. No, I got it. I got it. Yes. Because
Right?
yes. Because I just noticed what's that? I saw this. I just so then I
Yeah,
just asked why
I
we
thought,
need this. Yes. But now I got it. We have to
uh,
import it first. Yeah.
yes. So if I put a star, what happens? What are all the packages present in the util will come. So yesterday I shown you, right?
Yes.
So Java
That
API, and
yes. That one I know. Now I'm very clear. Very clear. Yeah.
you
You
just go
can
to
import either this one with star, or you can just import every list class, and then
yes,
otherwise you cannot use it, and the compiler will complain an error.
yes, exactly. So this is what we have seen in the array list. You can see,
Mm.
right? You can see these points. Array list also acts as random access because array can work at an index basis. So how the elements will store in an array list, and your array list manipulation means updation is little slower in array list. Why? Because so you see this is how your data gets stored in array list. For example, you are trying to store some data from 11 to 10. So what happens? It will start with how the same your array stores the data, same your array list also stores the data. You know how an array will store, right? It will start from zero index and it will increase that index, and based on the index you will store the data, right? Same your array list will also store the data in such way. So for example, I'm having 10 elements. So what is my, if I want to store like line 0 like this, so I'll be starting with 0 and I'll be having 9 index and I'll store the data. So this is how you are storing a data in your array list, right? So how this data gets stored? It will store in the form of indexes. So here, what is tougher in this is nothing but what is very easy is nothing but retrieval is very easy. So for example, when your data is stored in this case, so if I want to retrieve the element at the third index, what I'll do, I have a predefined method. So like al dot get also. So if I say get index, so what is the element in that particular index will be get printed. So for example, this is 0 index, this is 1 index. So I'll give 1. So what happens? It will print the element is the, so it will get
6.
the six value it will get, right? So this is what your retrieval operation. So this is my retrieval operation, right?
Yes.
So this is my
Yeah.
so for example, whenever you want to you have something thing, you want to leave
Yes.
something.
Actually, can we wrap up here? Like
Yes, yes.
today? Okay.
I found something that you are urgent with something I have observed.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Well,
Oh,
and I will review. I will review it, and then yeah. I think today the concept for me should be clear. Yeah. I
okay.
will review it, and yes.
I'm sharing this. You just you can copy and or you can just see that example. It may help
Okay.
you. Okay. I'm stopping.